I'm Simon Nussbaum, and I'll be talking to you today about sustainable signage and green dot sign. Let's first talk about how ugly most of the signs you see are. And I'm not talking about failing letters, missing braille, or bad design. I'm talking about what you don't see. Almost all sign plastics are derived from natural gas. In fact, it takes about the weight of a given sign in natural gas to make it. The gas is cracked, combined with minerals, pigments, a boatload of phthalates to make plastic sheet, mainly vinyl or acrylic, and then processed into signage. It's used for a few years. It looks nice, it serves its purpose, but when the space is remodeled, the signs can't be recycled, so they end up in the landfill. And sign plastic doesn't biodegrade. So that means all the signs you see use a resource that was millions of years in the making. They last for a few years, and they end up in a landfill for maybe another million years. We don't know. So no matter how pretty that sign was, I call it one ugly sign. And I went through a personal journey of being proud the first time my business had to order a full pallet of plastic sheet to now seeing it very differently. And that's where green dot sign has part of the solution. The letters you see on this sign are 3D printed and directly bonded to the wood. So being wood, the base is renewable, bio-based carbon sequestering material, and the limited amount of plastic has no machining, so it's very low waste. You may have come across wooden ADA signs in the past. And as a rule, they relied on adhesive and raster braille, which are very difficult to use with wood. So performance and durability were low. In addition, most sign people don't know wood, so a lot of what we would consider the basics were not done to ensure a quality product. So the signs warped, the letters and braille fell off, and no one was happy. But green dot sign has fixed those problems and taken more steps than just replacing fossil fuel derived plastics with a renewable resource. So when we started out, we didn't know anything about LEED credits or HPDs, EPDs, or EPRs. We just wanted to reduce the amount of plastic used in signage. But before we knew anything about those things, we set up what we called a return program so that at the end of life, people could send their signs back at remodel. And basically we removed the gunk from the signs. They get added to our clean wood scrap pile. All of our clean wood gets shredded. It gets sold to farmers who use it as animal bedding. After it's used as animal bedding, it becomes fertilizer. Fertilizer becomes food and dirt. So 90% of it cycles back into the nature that it came from if you return it. And that's basically our EPR program in a nutshell. But in addition to the EPR, which serves as a multiplier of potential credit contribution, practically any sign can be FSC chain of custody certified. So that can contribute to materials and resources credits. Non-ADA signs are what you see here. So these are informational, directional, safety, branding, directories, etc. And then last but not least, our Declare Red List approved option offers what is really the highest level of disclosure for any sign in the marketplace. And by being red list free, that means there's no vinyl, there's no phthalates, no PFAs, no toxic heavy metals, or the slew of other chemicals that are unnecessary in modern signage. In pursuing an HPD and then declaring our product, we learned a lot about what goes into signs and wood coatings. So much so that we pretty quickly changed our coatings right away and ended up changing our 3D printing inputs. In part, this was to meet Red List requirements, but also because we don't want to ask our employees to use processes or materials that could harm them or their children. So we changed it. And I think that's the value of transparency documents like these when they're used by companies who are committed to making sustainable choices. It helps us make more informed choices as well, not just you. And that in turn carries over into building health and environmental responsibility. So it's a multi-layered impact. So I sometimes hear that maybe these transparency documents don't matter. but I really want to dissuade any listeners from thinking that. So rather than a single project, I'd like to point out how all of these examples fit into the overall facilities that they're used in. So of course, they meet ADA requirements and they identify spaces or they inform occupants, but aesthetically, each one of these was conceived toward the end of a project. And each fit into the existing design palette. They all look different and they're used in very different buildings all across the country, but they all can contribute to LEED credits. And I like to think they communicate the building owner's commitment to sustainability and achieving ESG goals as well. So project one here is an estate registered historic building with lots of existing wood finishes. The finish you see was selected for all of the new wood being brought in for the renovation. So their signs match everything else that's new. And of course, that also makes it a better fit than if traditional ADA sign materials have been used. Project two is from a school building that was converted to upscale condos. The slate that you see in these signs evokes the chalkboards that were in each unit when it was a school, and the brass complements their lighting sconces and other metal fixtures, and the wood as well complements other interior elements. Projects 1 and 2 combine materials used in the past with technology and design from the present in ways that I personally find really exciting. Project 3 is from a typical skyscraper type office remodel. The user has white oak built-in shelving and other features, so white oak signage worked very well and didn't muddy the design palette. Project 4 is another office, and this type of design is very popular. I'd call it the easy sell of sustainable signage. The edge reveals plywood. If you look closely, it's 6mm FSC Baltic birch ply, but the face is solid white. The white is printed with our same Red List approved 3D printing components. It's not painted, and that makes it very cost effective, as well as something that kind of works with lots of different designs. It's very simple. So our lessons learned are really flexible design and easy buttons. I think, and I hope we've shown how the design options are much more flexible than comes across at first glance. We have heard that you need that in order to talk to the breadth of clients you work with. You know, some clients might want something that's wood forward, some want something with no wood visible, but to still have it be sustainable. So we offer all of these, and they all can contribute to LEED credits. And more importantly, they all can improve the health of the world and the sustainability of your building. I feel like we're always working on easy buttons, but we definitely have room to grow. We are a young company. So we have product data sheets, warranty documentation, transparency disclosures, but we're working on more. And to reduce design time, we're working to offer standardized ADA sign offerings, wayfinding systems, and dimensional letters, so it can be an easy and fast decision tree for designers with all your finishes matching, all your wood matching, and just kind of knowing that it's made by a wood expert and a sign expert who stand behind their whole product. So if you'd like pricing or to get some samples or discuss custom options, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Email's great. Look me up on LinkedIn. I'm also happy to hear any feedback or suggestions from anyone. And I hope I've piqued your interest and made you a bit more likely to go with the grain and choose sustainable signage for your next project. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. I love that tagline, go with the grain.